Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Now for this video what we want to do is to actually get this library published to NPM. So essentially what we're going to do is to first publish it to NPM and also do an NPM install into a separate project or local project. We can see what it looks like locally. There should not be really any changes from the yarn link, but we'll go ahead and look at what we get when we publish it to the remote repository. All right, so we're gonna cd over into development repos, and that's VFC, and we could pretty much just go ahead and do a yarn build so that we just ensure that we rebuild back everything. There wasn't any changes, but we're still gonna just rebuild it. Alright, so now all we need to do is to do an npm publish, or well, should be publish, and we want to have the access be public. So because we are under the organization scope, usually it will default to a private scope, and what we want to have this to be is public. So this will be a public repository. So I already have npm set up on my machine and logged in and all of that, and I already have an npm account. So if you're going to be doing something like this, you'll definitely need to have an npm account and also have the CLI set up. So let's go ahead and click on enter to have this publish. Alright, so I don't have npm as I may have forgotten, so let's do yarn, and we need to change the package.json firstly, and I need to set this to false, and then we should be able to do so. Let's go ahead and that should be it. And there we go. So now we have our package published to pretty much both yarn and also npm essentially. So there we go. We're going to now go over to npmjs.org or .com, whichever one of them, and we can now go ahead and type Fedorae /vfc and search for this package, and apparently it's not showing just yet. Let's just go to the Fedorae scope, and at the moment all we're seeing is just this one here. Alright, so we know the package was published, however we're not seeing it just yet, but we know that the publish was successful. I'm assuming that this is because it hasn't probably became available just yet. So if we type here, we're still not seeing it, and even if we should search, I think it's yarn pkg.com. If we do at Fedorae / we're not seeing it. However, we're gonna attempt to install it because I want to believe that we should be able to install it at this point. So we could just note the versions and also look at the installation. So if we cd into playground and we vim the package.json, one thing you'll notice here is that we actually do not have the linked file, the linked package, because it doesn't show up inside of our dev dependency or normal dependencies, but it's actually inside of here. So you'll see it inside of the node modules. So you'll see that it's actually inside the node modules here, but it's not going to be showing inside of the package.json, which is fine. But so what I want to do here is to make a copy of this here so that we don't necessarily have to do a completely new installation or create a new project or new Vuetify project essentially. So we're going to cd up and we're going to do a copy for the playground, and we're going to just call this VFC test, and I need to put that R flag in here. So I'm going to cd into VFC test, and what we're going to do first of all is to just do some cleanup. So I want to do the unlink. So I'm going to unlink at Fedorae /VFC so that we don't have it linked to this project now, but this is a different one. This is the one that we're going to actually be doing the yarn install in, and then we're going to just go ahead and clear this up a bit. Well, we don't necessarily have to clear it. Well, we're gonna have to do some amount of clearing up, so let's go ahead and just clear that, clear it up a bit, save. In addition to, there should be no components in here. We do have this, and for now I'm pretty much just going to comment this out. So we could just put for now hello VFC, and that's about it. Everything else should pretty much stay intact, because that's all we're going to be needing for now. All right, so first thing what we're gonna do now is actually do the yarn install, and one thing that I could actually do is to remove even the package lock here, so we could just remove that as well, or the yarn lock file, and we could also completely remove the node modules as well. And then from here we can do a yarn add. I'm going to add this to our dev dependency. We're going to do Fedorae /VFC, and this should do the reinstallation of everything, and also install the published library that we just published. So all right, awesome. So while you notice that it's not showing just yet, we still got it to install. So if I vim the node modules that were reinstalled now, if we go down to Fedora here, we should be seeing VFC and also everything that we had before. So now we know that this has been installed from the Vuetify, from yarn or NPM. So if I go over to the package.json file now, you should also see in our dev dependencies the @Fedorae /VFC, and also you'll notice that we have the same version that we would have installed or published with this library now. So we're able to use that as such. The configuration should pretty much be the same. So if I go over here, we should be getting the same thing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy what we had in playground, because that should be much easier. So we're gonna copy this here and then go back. And we'll just paste this in. So we're getting everything just the same from here. And the only other thing is just to do view.use, and that's it. So we're importing the library. We're also importing the CSS, and we're also using the library as well. So this is the global installation. Obviously we can do this locally, so inside of the component themselves. So probably didn't need to comment this out, but we're gonna change this to the register just for the sake of changing it. So we'll just change that over to register. And I'm gonna get that out of there, and that should be it for this here. So essentially what we did was just to use yarn to add this from the remote repository and configured it inside of our main.js file, and we added a component that we'll be using for the testing purposes. So we can go ahead now and do a yarn serve, and this should serve up our development environment, our dev server. All right, there we go. So let's go over here and go to localhost 8080, and you can see that this is now running with our published NPM package or NPM library, and that is pretty much it for the publishing and also installation of this here. We're still not sure if we'll be seeing well, here we go. So finally we're actually seeing it. So now you can see that it is showing it was published 15 minutes ago. So it only needed some time for it to become available, but now we're actually seeing it. Not sure if we'll have this. Well, yeah, seems like we may be getting it also for yarn, or maybe not. Maybe it's just gonna take some time, but that's pretty much it for this here. In the next video, what we want to do is to look at how we could possibly add this to, for example, Nuxt, which is another amazing framework which I'm very fond of, built on top of Vue. So Nuxt has its way of using packages that are specifically for Vue. So we can try to implement that in that sense. In addition to that, this is far from perfect, and it really definitely needs some amount of cleaning up. So that's something that we're going to be looking at in the next couple of videos that we'll be doing. So you guys can go ahead and install this. Tell me what you think when you do, and you can test it out, leave comments and all of that. We'll also be publishing this to GitHub, and we're going to be moving this over to the Fedorae organization as well. So that is pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.